Oh man, man, man. As a DC fan, Batman fan, I understandably knowing this is Elseworld story, this movie, the sequel to the Joker, Joker Two, what's it called? Folie D, Folie D. I don't know. Whatever. French is French. Whatever. I don't want to butcher it, but man, oh man, man, this movie was horrible. Oh man, they butchered everything. I'll tell you, this movie's a mess. Welcome, guys. AW here in Aaron Warrior. We're going to be reviewing this. Yeah, the sequel to Joker. I just saw it today. The Todd Phillips directed movie, the sequel to the 2019 film. Joaquin Phoenix returning against Arthur Fleck. Lady Gaga as Lee, aka Harley Quinzel. Or so yeah, so this is a spoiler review. So if you have not seen the movie and you care about spoilers, then I suggest you don't watch. But if you don't care about spoilers, come watch. Spoiler. It's in the title, so it's really up to you. It's really up to you if you want to decide to continue watching the stream or not. Okay, it's really up to you. It's up to you. It's your decision, not mine. Okay. Man, I did not do a review on it. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I don't know. Usually you do reviews and you do the spoiler review, right? Usually, right? Maybe I'll do it differently this time. Maybe I'll do the spoiler review and then I'll do a review tomorrow. See what I can remember from this stream and then apply it to tomorrow's video if I feel like doing the review. Okay. Joker. We all know who the Joker is. DC Comics. Batman's number one arch nemesis. Enemy, villain, whatever. Arguably one of the top comic book villains of all time. Obviously top 3, right? Definitely top 5, you could say, right? Okay. Well, you got to remember, this Joker, the Todd Phillips version of Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, as portraying Joker, is Elseworld, a very different Joker. Okay. Well, in the two movies, there's no progression. There's no progression for Arthur Fleck at all. Actually, he looks like he was embracing the Joker persona for a bit. Then he regresses back to being Arthur Fleck. Basically, just a sane criminal. Basically, you can say this could be the same guy dressed up as a clown. And there's been serial killers in real life dressed up as a clown, stuff like that. That's what basically Arthur Fleck is. A deranged mental patient that likes to dress up in a clown. Calling himself the Joker. And they don't even mention Gotham. I'll tell you this. They don't even mention Gotham once in this city, in the movie. They mention New York State. Gotham is in this movie. It was bad. In this movie, Gotham is in this universe. Gotham is in New York State. Okay. And let me remind you, there's a lot of singing in this movie. A lot of singing. Okay? A lot of singing. And the singing was so Pennywise for sure. So the singing part was mostly fantasized. And he was not hallucinating. He was not hallucinating at all in this film. He was just fantasizing, right? So, let you know, there's no hallucinations. It's just all fantasy stuff. The things that are going in his head is all fantasy, not hallucinations. Okay, let you know. So basically, this film, how can I say this? They got the idea of Joker wrong. Now, I don't mind a different version of Joker, but they got the idea of Joker wrong. I feel like because the Joker, some people say he's a complex kind of villain. Joker, if you really dig down the Joker, he's not a complex villain at all. But the comic book writers try to make him make him out that way. But he's not really complex. Joker really is basically obsessed with Batman. It's the opposite of Batman, right? Opposite of Batman, right? I said so many times on this stream about the Joker, how Joker and Batman are on the opposite sides of of not the spectrum, but the yin, they're the yin and yang of each other, right? Batman, okay, right? Now, obviously, in this film, I think what they do a good job compared to comic characters is his reducing him into insanity, right? So basically, kind of giving an origin. Because what I like about Joker and how his relationship to Batman is like something bad has to happen to the Joker in order to change his world, his point of view on the world, okay? In the comics and stuff. Same with Batman. Batman, right? We all know Batman's origins. So something terrible happened to Batman, made his world view, changed his perspective. Same thing happened to the Joker, and that's why the Joker and Batman relationship is so iconic, so important, so big in the comic books. Well, here this Joker. Well, exactly. We don't have Batman. His no relation to Batman. They did kind of give him origin and kind of how he reduced it to insanity. Like, okay, that's not like that's important to the Joker character, in my opinion. I don't like I don't like the idea. Oh, this guy decided to become a maniac just for the sake of becoming a maniac, a psychopathic killer. No, I don't like that. I don't like that with Joker. Okay, I don't like that because we all know serial killers, even serial killers, don't just decide to become a killer. There's things that they're brought up that way, right? They're brought up that way. Right? So be careful about that you don't know. Okay, so I understand you with that. And I think George, I think I did invite you. But that's the only thing I give credit to, man. Wait a minute. I gotta get this. Shit. Okay. Okay, I'm fine. I did what I had to do. Okay. Okay. This Joker is clearly not that intelligent. Not the brightest bulb in version of the Joker. Okay. The problem I had this film is that some problems. He should have been the Joker at the beginning of the film. Okay. If the Joker, the thing about the Joker is, once he becomes a Joker, he has no regrets. Joker has no regrets. He doesn't give a damn. He doesn't give a shit. Matter of fact, him in the fucking courtroom, he would just admit to those murders and laugh about it. That's Joker. That's Joker, right? Joker is not gonna lie and say, no, I didn't kill him. Joker likes that kind of stuff. If you know, right? He should embrace the Joker thing, the Joker persona from the start. Okay? Okay? That's one issue. Okay? Because we know how Joker is. We know Joker, man. Matter of fact, Joker never really goes to court because he's even insane all the time. So blinded. Hmm. Right? All right, we're getting some people. Yeah. Come on, chat, guys. Yeah. Joker's a showman, right? Joker loves to gloat, both arrogance, right? He loves it. He's the kind of guy who admits his murders, right? Did I kill you? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember I killed that person. Yeah. Yeah. And Joker usually is seen incompetent of standing trial. Usually, right? Usually. Be like, this guy's fucking insane. This guy's fucking insane. Okay. I'm insane too, guys. I'm fucking insane too, guys. I'm great. I'm gonna admit it. I'm insane. I'm very insane. I think we're all insane. I think we're all insane in our own way. Now, okay, the music. I did not like it being a musical. I'm sorry. I thought the musical part was bad. I thought going to his fantasies, that most of his fantasies have to do with the musical aspect. I actually thought the way I think that actually made this move a mess. A mess. Okay, I actually thought the musical part of this movie made it more of a mess. And most of this movie tailed around Arkham and courtroom, right? So yeah, so basically the Joker was on trial, right? The Joker was on trial. This whole film was about Joker being on trial and his interest in Harley Quinn. And basically the whole trial was that, well, his lawyer at the time, his lawyer at the time that represents him, trying to use the case that he has multiple personality disorder, that Joker and Arthur is two different persons. And they kind of showed at the beginning of this film a mini cartoon of Joker and Arthur battling it out and Joker eventually winning. Kind of like okay. So the thing is, if you know the comics, right? If you know the comics, Joker's always treated as insane, right? Not, but right? But the thing is, there's a belief that the Joker is faking insanity. That he knows this shit. That he knows what's going on. He's faking insanity. He knows what he's doing is wrong. Well, actually, in his mind, he doesn't think it's wrong. In his mind, he thinks what he's doing is right. Because it's the way he sees the world. But there's a belief he is faking insanity. Because he doesn't have personality disorder. He's not like Two-Face. He doesn't think like right. There's been times where he's being diagnosed or trying to be diagnosed, they really can't come up with what he is in the comics and stuff. Or even Arkham when he did the tapes, the Arkham tapes, they couldn't when he was a psychiatrist or the right we're at the Arkham tapes. They couldn't really diagnose what Joker has, and there's a belief that the Joker is faking insanity. Okay. Now, I think the Joker is kind of insane, but I don't think he is deeply insane. I think he's obsessed. I'll give that. I think he's obsessed with Batman. He's obsessed with Batman in the comics. Okay, that's not undeniable. He's obsessed with Batman in the comics. We know that, right? This Joker, obviously, there's no Batman, so he can't be obsessed with that. So they have to come up with a different story. This movie is basically his obsession with Harley Quinzel, Lee Quinzel by Lady Gaga. Okay. Now this Joker, to me, this Joker is not a threat. Okay. Okay. He's easily manipulated by the guards, controlled by the guards, right? Now, and if an actual Joker, the actual Joker, well, first of all, the actual Joker, they would not let him be hanging out with the other inmates, whether it's outside or inside watching a movie. Obviously, if it's the actual Joker from the comics or whatever, or if it's like Heath Ledger's Joker, Jack Nicholson's Joker, that Joker would not be around other inmates, right? That Joker would be in a heavy ring in Arkham. Okay, but this Joker is so small that this Joker is not a threat to the guards at all. Okay. So you can understand why they would not have a Batman in this. I mean, no, they don't even mention. I don't even think they mention the Reigns in this. They don't mention the Reigns in this movie at all. Let you know. Not, not one bit. Okay. Okay, I'm just checking something. Sorry, guys. I'm just checking something. All right. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I did not like this Harley Quinn. I'm sorry. Yeah, Jerome Vasquez is a better Joker. Is a better Joker. Much better. I did not like this Harley Quinn. This Harley Quinn is clearly one of those ladies that's obsessed with a serial killer. There is women who have a sick obsession, a fetish for serial killers. They'll send them letters. They'll marry them, whatever. Right? Like, right? Serial killers. That's what Harley Quinn basically is, or Lee is basically is in this film. It's basically this an obsessed fan of Joker. Okay. All right. So they're totally opposite of the typical Harley we get, right? This Harley Quinn is not manipulated into. Uh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sorry. This Harley Quinn is nothing like typical Harley Quinn. This Harley Quinn was not manipulated like into the Joker, right? This Joker is actually is easy. Okay. Hartford is easy be able to be manipulated. And Harley Quinn kind of did manipulate Joker here. Or Arthur here. Okay? Like, not to a point where Joker goes so far in the comics or in the movies where Joker got Harley Quinn to dedicate herself to it. In this, she didn't do crazy stuff. She didn't torture him. She didn't put him in chemicals or anything like that. She didn't do that. All she did was, well, lie, but talk to him. Talk to him. Yeah, I told you George is coming in. I know George did not like the movie because that's what he told me in the DM group.
Yeah, sorry. First of all, I thought you were starting at
I'm sorry,
10:15,
Degrassi.
so I just got out of my shower. So sorry if I'm a little late.
Yeah, Blinders will join us in 10 minutes. He
All
just
right,
saw the
but
movie like an hours ago.
oh my goodness, you know, I think if you can tell, I'm usually more lenient when it comes to movies than Blinded. Like you can tell, like
Oh
usually
yeah,
after
yeah. Me too. Me too.
yeah, like oh my, I was so let down. Like here's the thing, I had a day off yesterday. And my mom treated me because Wednesday was my birthday to a 3 o'clock screening for Joker. And being a fan of the first one, and I still love the first one. I recently rewatched it and I still love the movie. I think it's still a great movie. Don't care what anyone says. I At the end of the movie, I was left disappointed, frustrated, confused, let down.
I was
The first thing that came to my mind was, what was the point of this? And I know everyone's gonna say a sequel was not necessary, but it was like as I was watching it for like the first half, because I actually did like the first half. I thought to myself, okay, I see where they're going with this. Like it's obviously going to focus on the after effect, his life in Arkham, and the trial. And I'm like, but then it gets
oh
wasted as this goes on.
yeah.
Like to me, that's where the movie was losing me. And look, I can forgive the crappy musical numbers because I wasn't looking
There's
for
too many of them. I think there was too much.
too many of them
Eh,
because there were two of them that I did enjoy. And Lady Gaga is a great singer, although Joaquin Phoenix sucks at singing. I mean, look, he played the Joker well, but he sucks at singing. But it just feels like most of these musical numbers were pointless, and I feel like this
yes,
was just they were only in this movie because you casted
Lady
a
Gaga.
popular singer
Yeah.
in Lady Gaga. Like, I feel like it didn't need to be a musical. You could have just scraped the musical stuff
I
out.
think this movie would have been better if they did not if it wasn't a musical.
But I feel like even without the musical stuff, I still think the movie would have stunk because the last half hour, like at a certain point during the court stuff, the movie makes a turn for the worse, and it's just like it has so many opportunities to course correct itself, and it just gets worse and
And
worse
worse.
as it passes each time it can course correct itself. Because there were plenty of opportunities within that last half hour for them to not just maybe fix the mistake, but maybe do something that could have actually made the film a lot better than anticipated.
Yeah.
But like here's the thing: the cinematography looks great, the
Yeah,
costumes are
yeah.
great, the
Yeah,
acting
yeah.
was great. Joaquin Phoenix is still great. I thought Lady Gaga was great. Brendan Gleeson as that corrupt officer was great.
That's
Can you tell us a joke, Arthur?
yeah.
Like he
Moody.
was great.
Like
There
it
was
counts as
no
a
bad.
joke. Take a as a
Listen,
joke.
there was no bad acting performance in this movie. There was no bad performance in this movie. In the first
No.
half, like when they're in Arkham, I did enjoy that aspect of the movie. But here's the thing, like where the first Joker was basically, a reference to Martin Scorsese movies of the 70s and 80s, basically combining King of Comedy and Taxi Driver and doing it so well. This movie felt like
I
it
don't know
was
what
trying
those.
to invoke Shawshank Redemption, A Few
Oh,
Good Men, My Cousin Vinny,
too much.
Chicago, Singing in the Rain, La La Land, Bonnie and Clyde, Natural Born Killers, some
The thing
Charles
is,
Manson, some realistic Charles Manson trial stuff in there. It didn't really know what it wanted to
Joker,
be.
Joker and Harley Quinn did shit in this film. Like they did nothing. I mean, yeah, they talked all the time, but they did nothing that makes Joker and Harley Quinn great. They didn't kill anybody. They didn't do anything. Like, my God,
That's what I mean. It's
Joker
just
didn't even
like,
kill anybody. He didn't even kill
but
anybody.
but it's just like,
Dent,
what a letdown of a movie.
Dent, Dent was being well. Dent was being very true to his character from the comics. Very straightforward, non-corrupt.
Oh, that's
He,
another thing. Like when we can do spoilers, right?
yeah, this is spoilers. Yeah.
So when the explosion happens, I felt like there was an opportunity to kind of make Harvey Dent Two Face, like at least
Yeah.
like have half of his side blow up, and it's
But
just like
this exact same thing happened in 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 Dark Knight.
but it's like I felt like that was such a missed opportunity. It's like he's just there, like yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah, like
George,
he's like got dirt on him, but it's not
George,
like he's half.
George. Good. You know, there's a good point of Harvey Dent because there's obviously we saw most of us saw the movie. I know Sideways saw the movie, but he didn't see the movie, but he doesn't care about spoilers. At the ending, when we got Joker, Arthur's death, and that guy who killed him, right? assuming he's the real Joker. I don't think he's the real Joker at all. I think he's just taking the mantle of the Joker. But people are saying, "Oh, that's the Heath Ledger's Joker." I'm like,
No, it's not the Heath Ledger
no,
Joker.
how does it make sense if Harvey Dent's dead or blown his half face off already? How would that make sense, George? It wouldn't.
Well, also, here's the thing: like this movie takes place 2 years after the first movie. Bruce Wayne would be what, 10 years old?
Yeah, there's no Batman.
Like
They
here's the
don't
thing.
even mention Bruce. They don't even mention
Heath,
the Reigns.
first of all, Heath Ledger was younger than Christian Bale, so I'm assuming that Joker's either around the same age as Batman in the Dark Knight trilogy, or a few years younger. And if he's older, he would be a few years older than Batman.
Yeah.
Like he would be around Batman's age, like whether it be a few years younger, the same age, or a few years older. Here's the thing. This is a theory that even before this movie came out that people had since the first Joker movie. It's like, oh, is this going to tie into the Dark Knight trilogy? It's like, no way. First of all, Thomas Wayne in the Dark Knight trilogy was not an arrogant, egotistical narcissist.
No, he was not. No.
He was someone that was actually trying to help Gotham's less fortunate and did not insult them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Like, to me, I get like they were trying to have him reject the Joker persona, but I felt like it would have probably just been better off if he had fully embraced it.
Exactly.
And been still found guilty. And here's the thing. When the bomb goes off, it's set off by Harley, and Joker and Harley go off. Two-Face, like Harvey Dent, would be half scarred, and like they're going on, well, maybe not a killing rampage, but a crime rampage. And like we're seeing the downfall of Harvey Dent towards the end. And I'm not saying set up a third Joker movie where Two-Face versus Joker happens, but like maybe you can like have it where like, you know, Harvey Dent's down, like Harvey Dent starts to turn to crime and Joker starts going into his crime era. And you can like, I feel like that may not have been a great movie, but it would have probably made more sense. And if you want to do a third movie, do like a reference to Goodfellas or a gangster movie where it's the Joker gang versus the Two-Face gang.
We'll go see it red. If you want
to me, that would have made more freaking sense than what they did with the ending.
That ending was so.
That
guy was in the background at different times in Arkham, and I remember they were watching the TV. Right, they were watching TV, and you just saw that guy hanging on the back first on the wall. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the guy that blinded told me it's gonna kill Arthur. I'm like, yep, that's the guy. And the thing about this movie was like, Arthur should have been a Joker from the beginning, because in the last movie he embraced the Joker persona.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, to me, like it should have been him embracing the Joker.
You know what?
It should have been him fully embracing the Joker making a fool out of the courtroom for the whole time.
The Dark Knight stuff. You know when the Joker came out of his catatonic state because of Batman Returns, he pretended that he was remorseful and all that shit. He should have pulled something like that. Fake that.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It felt like this was. It felt like, you know how like after Last Jedi made all its risks and Rise of Skywalker was damage control.
Oh, Venom 2 is better. I'm gonna say Venom 2 is better.
No, Venom's. Oh, absolutely. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I actually enjoy Venom 2. I wish they had more Venom action, but I actually didn't mind Venom 2. That's like the one Sonyverse movie I don't mind.
Yeah.
But actually, you know what? I would rather watch the first Venom again than this.
Man.
Look, I'm just gonna flat out say it. As many issues as the Marvels had, I actually like their musical number.
The Marvels is better.
No, well, not just that. I think the musical number in the Marvels was handled way better than any of the musical numbers in this movie.
Yeah, it was
like
they overdid it in this film. They overdid it.
Well, it's not just that they overdid it. It's just there wasn't exciting. Like, here's the thing. I'm one of those people that didn't mind them saying that they were going to make a musical out of this, because I was like, okay, I personally enjoyed musicals, but as a fan of musicals, man, it was so disappointing. And the thing is, it's like the costumes that they wore for the musicals look great, and it would have probably looked even better if the musicals were better. Like the settings looked really good. like the thing is, this movie should have been him fully embracing the Joker, him going right from the first day of court. He should have been going in with the Joker makeup, and he could have like been making the case as to how Gotham let him down,
Yeah,
like saying how like Gotham cut social services, like saying how like the three men that he killed were attacking him, and before that they were harassing a woman.
yeah,
Like don't forget, like before they went after him, they were harassing a woman. If they didn't go after him, who knows what the hell those assholes would have done to that poor woman. How the guy that he killed set him up with the gun
mm-hmm.
in the first place. Like like this should have been like him fully embracing the Joker, not caring. You like him and Harley Quinn getting together. If anything, like in this movie, they had Harley being the one manipulating him. It's always been Joker manipulating Harley.
Yes.
Like he should have been the one like manipulating this fangirl, uh, like stalker of his in the asylum.
I knew
And
they were gonna
maybe
do
like
that.
towards the end, she starts to wonder like, is this the right path? But like, and then
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fully
Once, once,
embraces him.
once she gets, once she rejects the Joker persona and gets back to his Arthur Fleck role, she just basically
But
ditches him.
it should be her starting to maybe wonder if the Joker persona is as she dreamed and if this was the right choice.
Yeah.
Like not her like saying, "Oh, he's no longer Joker. Okay, screw you, Arthur Fleck. You're boring. Go away." Like that's basically what happened.
But the thing is, every time they were talking to each other, he was talking like as Arthur Fleck, right? Like,
Or here's the other thing. Even if him and Harley didn't end up together, when those Joker cultists were helping
yeah,
him,
Joker. Yeah.
you know what he should have done? He should have just like stayed in there. They should have drove him off to a gang of Joker loyalists that are still loyal to him, and it could have been like, you know what? I'm going to embrace it and become a mobster. Like
Yeah,
that would have.
yeah.
I think that could have also made more sense because as the verdict is being announced, like that he's being found guilty, he's starting to laugh crazily again. So maybe
Hmm.
that should have been the moment where he's like, you know what? Screw what I said. If these people see me as a murderer, I'll be the Joker. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
They had every opportunity to
They could
course
he could
correct
he could embrace being a
stuff.
Joker there, and then he could embrace being a Joker at the end. But
Like here's the thing. They had every opportunity to course correct the mistake that they made, but instead they made the mistake worse. I have never seen a movie shoot itself in the foot so many times.
and the Joker,
In a well-made movie. That's the thing that's
I don't
frustrating. This
think
is
I
so
know Todd Phillips like I don't know if he ever. I know this is his own version of Joker, but I don't know if he truly knows the basis of what makes Joker great. The Joker is the type of character who would admit those murders and would laugh about it. He wouldn't care.
if anything, when he's admitting that he killed his mom, he should have been like laughing, saying, and and I feel no regret for
Yeah,
all
I
the
feel
pain
no
that she
more.
put me through. Like that should have, if anything, when he was giving his
Yeah,
final verdict, instead of like saying, I'm just Arthur Fleck, he
be
should
the
have been like,
Joker. Yeah, be the
he
Joker.
should have like he still should have admitted that he killed his mom, but he should have fully embraced it like he did on the Murray show when he said, I killed and these people and I have no regrets. He should have said, I killed my mom. You heard what she put me through. You see the monster that she created. Like he should have like done that. Like they had so many opportunities
That's the
in
thing
the
about
second half,
Joker. That's what
and I
that's
keep bringing up the second half because I did like the first half of this movie. That's what's frustrating. It
that's
was
about the
so well
Joker though.
made
Society
and well
and
acted.
George in the comics, even Heath Ledger's Joker, he blamed society is what made the Joker. Like
It's just
it's how Gotham made how Batman is. Gotham also made how Joker is, right? Joker is not some guy who just randomly wanted to be a villain, right? Something had to do. Something had to make him that way, right? Joker, like the Killing Joke or different other origins, right? Like stuff. That's exactly. Yeah. So your mom. So they're saying the mom. Look what my mom made me become. Yeah, Joker's always been like that. Then and at the end he embraces it too. He embraces that. Like, right? That's the thing about Batman and Joker. Something bad has to happen to us both for Batman to become Batman and Joker to become Joker, right? You just don't wake up one day to become Batman and Joker, right? Like, I'm gonna be a superhero one day. I'm gonna be a supervillain. See, that's a good point, George, about the mother and about the
Yeah,
kid.
it's just that's what I mean. They're bringing up all this stuff, and they had so many great opportunities
And the
to.
thing is, that's not just a Joker thing, but it's a society of Gotham that creates these villains. And Batman. It's how Gotham
And you
creates
know
these
what?
villains.
That's why I think they also should have probably had half of Harvey Dent get
Yeah.
blown up when the bomb went off, because it's like then it's like, you know what, Harvey, because then you can have Harvey towards the end be like focus more on Harvey and be like, you know what? Why even defend a city that's embracing murderers?
Yeah, yeah.
And like
Yeah.
he starts becoming resentful in his own way. Like that's the thing. It's like they forget like what
See,
Gotham City is in this universe. It's
I
even more messed
see.
up
You
than
know what? They should have just made up
fucking
some DA, not use Harvey Dent at all. Just make up some DA.
like
They can just use that. Just make up some DA for the show. You didn't have to use Harvey Dent, the movie, right? Just make up a DA. If they're not going to
it's
use
like
anything like that.
why have Harvey Dent be the DA and set off a bomb where all it's gonna do is just have him take normal damage?
Yeah, yeah.
Like seriously, it's not even like half his face got like damaged or half his body. It was just more like, yeah, he's covered in dirt and soot, but he looks fine. Doesn't look
Yeah.
disfigured or anything.
Well, that's because they're not doing. That's because they're not continuing this universe, right? So
I
there's no
know,
point
but
in me.
still, like at the very least, like you could have maybe, even if you weren't gonna do a third movie, maybe like give the audience like an interpretation of what's to come in this universe. Like, is it gonna?
It's
It,
funny.
it's just
You know who's also in it that people didn't catch? I don't think people caught Bullock, but he's an inmate. He's not a detective. He's a inmate. Bullock. They mentioned Bullock. It's a big inmate. Detective Harvey Bullock. He's in the movie, but as an inmate. Not,
also like I feel like at a certain point, because in one scene before the film turns for the worse, he's riling up the inmates in Arkham.
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like there should have been a moment in the movie where, like, as the Joker stuff gets more heat in the courtroom, a riot breaks out in Arkham, and those corrupt guards get what, as Joker says, you effing deserve.
Yeah, nothing happens
Like
to the guards. I
seriously,
thought
like
I
like you would think like at least like something would happen to the
the
guards.
Joker does nothing in this movie. That's the thing. He does
Well,
nothing.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's like, you know, it, like the guards.
God.
If anything, the guards probably deserve what's coming to them, but it never comes to them.
Yes.
So
They,
it's like, obviously I'm not glorifying violence, but it's like in a movie where it's like,
oh, you're in a movie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
but in a
obviously.
movie where like, we're like when the previous movie's basically saying, you know what, the shitty people that are mistreating a person and pushing this person to turn into a psychopath probably should get what they deserve.
They do nothing. These freaking guards.
And by the way, these guards have probably done the worst to Arthur
They
Fleck
fucking
than
rape him.
anyone in the other movie that he killed.
They fucking rape him. That's when I
Yes.
saw him. When I saw
Yes. Like,
them when
like
he did
listen, I knew
that.
what listen, like I knew
That's
right
when we
away
should have
what
killed
happened.
him. Like no one would dare to
Well, you
rape the
know what?
actual.
That should have been the scene where an Arkham riot broke out. They should have had an Arkham riot break out, and that should have been where, like, you know what? He says, "Screw Arthur Fleck. There's nothing left but Joker."
You
Like,
know what? I would embrace. I would have been embracing the Joker here with those guards. I'd be like, yeah, go get them, Joker. They deserve it. They're not good. They're not good.
it's just
They prove your point. Those guards prove your point. They
it felt like I don't even like I don't know what Todd Phillips was thinking with this one.
I don't
It's
like.
like
I don't know if he. I don't know if Todd Phillips is ever a Batman fan. Like, cause yeah, it's his own version, but you have to keep some elements that make what is Joker. And this Joker, man, this Joker, like the Joker we know, the Jokers we know will never get his, but he never get raped. Matter of fact, the guards would never want to mess with him. And the Joker, we know the Joker would never hang out with the inmates. They would never let Joker hang out with the inmates, right? Like, or is blinded? Come on, blinded. Where are you, buddy? You said you could come on 10 minutes ago. Uh,
I have to admit, like before I realized how scummy the guards are, I would always laugh whenever Brendan Gleeson was like, "Tell us a joke, Arthur,"
tell us the joke.
because it sounds like something Mad Eye Moody would say because he played Mad Eye
Tell us the
Moody.
joke, Harry.
Tell us a joke, Potter. Tell us a joke, Ferret, Malfoy. Weasley, tell us a joke, since you want to be the class clown. But still, it's just, as I said, it's so frustrating because this is a well acted movie. This is a well
Uh-huh.
filmed movie. I did like the first half of this movie. It didn't have to be as good as the first movie, which I think
Um,
is a terrific movie.
I'll take in the limited stuff we saw. I'm gonna say yes, cause he acted like the Joker, more like a Joker than Arthur Fleck's Joker.
Here's the thing. I still think Joaquin Phoenix did a great job in these movies, but although he can't sing to save a life, I'm sorry. Whenever he sung during the musical
Yeah,
parts, it was cringe. Joaquin Phoenix is a great actor, but he can't sing for shit.
most actors like I don't know. Most actors can't sing. I don't know. They
It's
should
like
never
they
make
couldn't
music.
even get they couldn't even get like a dub, like a lip dubber.
DC never make a movie or a TV show as a musical ever again, please. Okay, never,
Oh my!
never do it again. Never do it again.
Unless Batman is singing "Am I Blue" like in Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like, I don't have a problem with Joker at least singing once, but like Joker has sang in before,
Well,
right?
here's the thing.
He's a showman. He has sings.
Remember Batman Arkham Knight, where like the hallucination of Joker
Yeah,
is singing, Jason Todd is dead, and I'm not thinking
Arkham
like,
Origins.
that,
In Arkham Origins at
good
the
lord,
ending of the
Mark
credits.
Hamill has a
Yeah, I'd
way
like it. Okay.
better singing voice than Joaquin
Oh,
Phoenix.
Jingle Bells, Batman Smells. Like I have no problem with Joker singing, but like not like this. I
Well,
mean,
Mark
like
Hamill has a decent singing voice at
okay,
least.
I
But
like like
I tell you, look, I'm just gonna be flat out honest since blinded to you. Know what I'm gonna say?
Blind like a movie.
I would rather rewatch the Flash movie than this movie. Because at
Oh,
least the Flash movie, there's exciting action to watch. You got Michael Keaton
there's no
as
action in this
Batman.
freaking film.
Like
Not
at least like you got the action, and it's
dude. I
like
want all the Joker
also,
stuff. All the
but
Joker
also,
stuff is in his freaking fantasies. That's it.
but also, at least there's so dumb. There are funny
Okay.
moments in the movie. I'd rather rewatch the Marvels than this. At
Yes.
least the Marvels has enjoyment in it.
Every
I'd
stuff he
rather
does.
rewatch. I'd rather rewatch Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I was like, oh, like
Dude,
this was such a letdown. It's like,
I'm like when. I'm like, you know when they're talking about the multi personnel defense, right? I'm like, what? This is a Two-Face film? Who? Who
oh,
joined us?
so, you know what? I think Sideways is referring to the CW probably. You know what? Any of the CW shows would be better to rewatch than this.
Oh, my Gotham Joker is better than this. Okay.
Good lord! And the budget for this movie,
200
holy
million.
crap! What were they thinking with the budget?
It's like, and this film did not need 200 million budget.
That's what I mean.
No,
That's what I
you
mean.
could tell. You could tell it did not need it. What? Like,
Listen,
why?
you know what? Before I saw this movie, my theater was showing Transformers One. I should have just rewatched Transformers One.
Oh,
That's a
oh,
great movie. That was a great movie to watch. It was the Transformers movie that I've been asking for years.
oh yeah, they did do.
You know what? I'm just gonna say this flat out. People that are watching, go support Transformers One, please. Go support that movie. That movie needs to make more money.
I mean, like
Or
when I went to
go see Beetlejuice if you haven't seen it already.
when I went to see this movie, I want to see
Either one
Joker
of
do
those
shit.
movies is more worth watching
I-
than this.
and you know what it felt like? It felt like Todd Phillips made this movie to insult everybody because he didn't want
I
to.
don't get it. I don't get it. I felt
Yeah.
like if anything, he would have been just better
I
off
was
having
spite.
Joker embracing himself and been like, "Yeah, screw you, stupid critics. I'm gonna keep making my movie about the psychopath because the fans loved it."
All this is typically you know how like there's some serial killers like John Gacy, right? John Wayne Gacy dressed up like a clown, right? You see him in
But
clown
Arthur
shop.
Fleck isn't John Wayne Gacy either.
No, well, but the Joker's worse than John Wayne Gacy
Oh
though.
yeah, but still, like this version
There's
of
no, I don't
Joker
think there's
really.
any real life serial killer that's worse than the Joker. Honestly, ever. Joker's a whole new level. But like, this is just like a serial killer, a killer, right? I don't even think it's a serial killer because serial killers usually target people, right? They have a specific demographic to target, right? Whether it's women, young men, right? Joker just kills anybody.
You know what? I think like this movie, like I think this was the joke. The fact that this movie existed.
Oh,
Yo,
yeah.
seriously, like I think the joke was on the Todd Phillips and Warner Brothers put the joke on us.
I don't. I'm glad you missed his dumb DC.
Yo, after this, heck yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god, man. This
I mean,
is
look, listen, this doesn't ruin the first Joker for me. Like, I still love the first Joker, but I'm just gonna pretend that this movie is some kind of fantasy illusion that he has while he's in Arkham.
Oh, here we go. Blind is here. Yeah, he just got back from seeing it.
Well, I
And,
mean, I had a Wendy's, okay, and I was talking with my friend, but yeah, we
oh,
finally came home. We had to do a few errands that didn't include Wendy's, but yeah,
that's nothing wrong. I
I
like
saw.
Wendy's. Wendy's is
Yeah,
good, man.
they had a Krabby Patty at Wendy's and
Oh
like
yeah,
a
they're doing Krabby
pineapple.
Patties now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's really just a normal Wendy's burger. I couldn't taste the new sauce or whatever, but I actually liked the Frosty. It was pretty good. But anyway, besides the fat assery, okay. Besides that, this movie, okay, this movie. Listen, let's put it this way. I don't think it's bad. Like, but I think it is a very boring,
It's
bland, fucking
boring.
piece of shit. It. Okay, listen. I respect like some of the creative decisions, but I feel like this movie really wasn't. It's not a very entertaining movie. Let's put it that way,
No,
especially
it's
It's
compared
not.
to the first movie. It's
no, because
it's
Joker does nothing in
very.
this movie.
This is what I would call it: spinning wheels, the musical. Okay, because the whole point of the movie, and they right off the bat, this is probably the only nice thing in the movie or thing that I liked, was that opening. It was very like Looney
The cartoony,
Tunes,
yeah, Looney
yeah,
Tunes, yeah.
but that cartoon establishes the main theme of the story, which is Joker a persona? Is it a split personality? Is it a other side? And I feel like throughout the rest of the movie, I think it gets really confusing. It gets really muddy, and by the
That's
end of the movie, I'm left confused as to what the point is really. Like, like okay, if Arthur is just Arthur, and he's not the Joker, but but the thing is, they pretty much confirm that he doesn't have a split personality.
no, Joker never had one. Like
It's like the
period.
the bad things that happened to him growing up were the reason why he is the Joker, and I feel like there
There's
is something interesting there, right? Because I have so many thoughts about this movie, right? Because I could see potential. Let's put it that way. I could see potential. I think there's something interesting going on here. I just think it has one of the worst executions in recent memory. It's just it is a disappointing movie. Let's put it that way. It's
what do you think? I don't like. I think the musicals.
the musical. So I pointed out to my friend. I was like, after the movie ended, I told him that I think the main problem is the song choices kind of blend together. They're not
Yeah,
very interesting, and I get what people are saying. Like it stops the movie. I don't think I have a problem with that per se. I just think the musicals themselves, like the music choices, weren't good. Like the music choices in the first movie were a lot better. And I think that's maybe why they did a musical because of that whole him coming down the stairways, right? And by the way,
which
there's
they
a
never
shot in
showed. They never
yeah,
showed that
but yeah,
scene.
they have that scene with him on the steps with Lady Gaga. That
Never
never
showed.
happens. That
Yeah,
never
that was
happens
in
in
the
the movie.
trailer. Never on film.
Yeah, which I think is a shame. I think if the musicals were just uh
I was actually looking forward to
had
that.
better
To be honest with
songs.
you, I was looking. I was actually looking forward to that. I'm like, what happened? It's not in the film.
Yeah, I think if it was I think they needed to have better songs.
I
I think they actually needed I think what they should have done is because remember that first musical that you see where they, Lady Gaga sets the fire and they're escaping.
Yeah, yeah.
I think what they should have done is they should have had musicals where you didn't know if it was real or not. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what could have made it a little bit more
Because it
interesting.
made it clear all the musicals were like fake.
Yeah, that they were, except that one where they set the fire. It felt
Yeah,
like there was,
and the
they
one
were
the
singing.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I feel personally like that the movie isn't as bad as people are saying. Like there's no like people are saying there's no point to it. It's like it's not that there's no point to it. It's that the conclusion that is reached at the end of the movie is not satisfying. It really is not satisfying. Like
no,
especially once you are, because the movie is telling you this is the direction they're going in, and you're like, yeah, this is not interesting. Like it's not compelling to me at all that they would arrive at, oh, the Arthur is not the Joker. I think it's way more interesting. And I was telling my friend this. I think the biggest problem of the movie is I think it should have followed Joker, the Joker persona, and where we last left off, right?
yeah.
With
She's a
him,
racist from the
and
beginning.
have
Honestly,
Arthur be the one who's breaking through, and have
yeah,
that struggle of, oh, is he the Joker or is he not the Joker? Is Arthur really the main persona? Almost kind of like a Moon Knight situation, right? Where at the ending of the Joker, he is now officially the Joker, and he doesn't want to take on any other mantle.
yeah.
I
That's
think,
the issue I had. He should embrace
yeah,
Joker from the start. He should have been.
it should have really been he's the Joker. I think they introduce him at a low point, and it's always at a low point in this movie. Like the only time it's a high point is during those musicals, and because the music is not.
Once he finds
It
Harley, that's the only time it's the high
well,
point.
I
Then
have
it's dead.
another
Yeah.
criticism of Harley because that's another entire thing too,
Oh yeah, you
right?
could. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that.
So I would say that that most of this movie is like, and I was, because remember I watched a lot of reviews and I try to be open minded and I
Yeah.
tried going into it, and the stuff people were saying I didn't think resonated with me personally. Like I don't, like you could see that it is a very well shot movie. It's well
I
directed,
agree.
and like I don't think those are the problems. I think the problem is the direction clearly is not there. The vision is not there. The story is not there. And I will keep saying this, but story is king, right? If you can have the best actors, the best lighting, everything, but if the story is dog shit,
Who
it's
cares?
not
Yeah.
going to be good. I mean, there's
Yeah.
people in my theater walked out and they were saying it was boring, it was garbage, they were disappointed and they were upset and they were confused as to what was even the point. And yeah, I agree. What was even the point? I don't really see, because it's interesting too, right? Because Todd Phillips, I don't think most people know this, but he has a documentary about, I believe it's John Wayne Gacy,
Oh
and
yeah.
I feel like the biggest problem of this movie and what could have been more interesting is if they leaned into that examination of serial killers. Like, what? Why do serial killers do this, right? Because
Yeah.
there is a common theme among serial killers, right? It's
Yeah.
usually sometimes they have an abusive parent, sometimes it's like very sexual in nature, and you can
The thing
see
is,
these threads in the movie.
in this movie,
There's a
that could
lot of
work.
these that
In
could
this,
work, but it's
even
not.
though the
It's
Joker, even though the Joker is not really a serial killer.
No, he's not, but he's kind of like, I mean, he did murder multiple people, right?
Yeah, but like,
It's not the same where he's hunting down people and
yeah,
stuff like
usually
that.
serial killers have targets, right? They usually have a
But
target.
I mean, the thing is, there's so many. I mean,
Yeah.
especially during that time period, it was like the late '60s to like the '90s. There was those serial killers that,
Yeah,
yeah, that everybody knew, right?
and
But
Lady Gaga's character Harley Quinzel clearly is one of those women that fantasize about serial killers.
yeah, and that's I'll get into that because
Yeah.
I have a lot of criticisms about
Oh,
that
I did
character,
not like
but
her Harley Quinn. I at all.
no, I didn't. Well, it's not that I despise it or like have this disdain for it, but she's barely in the movie.
She is
She's bare like the parts where you think this is where they're going to set up their relationship. That happens so fast.
quick,
It
quick.
happens quick, and then she disappears in the movie. Like she pretty much tells him like once they really get that fantasy going, she pretty much leaves the movie. She's not really Harley Quinn. She's sort of just like, I'm his lover now. I'm going to support him. I'm going to support
Yeah.
his delusions. And I don't think she, first off, I mean, yeah, she was obviously right off the bat manipulative, but I don't think that's what it feels like the first movie, which is not very close to the comic, obviously. And obviously, I'm not going to even bring up the comic because it's pointless to. Because if we were to bring up the comic, the first movie makes no fucking sense, right?
Yeah.
But let's just ignore that and let's just treat it as it is, okay? The problem with Harley Quinn is that she doesn't really offer anything interesting to Arthur's story besides what was already there,
You just wanted to be in love
right?
with the
She just
Joker.
reinforces, yeah,
Yeah.
she's just like, I'm there for myself, and that's it. And the thing is, we kind of already saw that Arthur is a vulnerable person who believes that people like him in the first movie, right? Sophie or whatever her name is, Zazie Beetz.
Who's alive? And people
Yeah,
thought she was dead.
he had this delusion that he was in love with her, but it wasn't true, right? So it was almost an identical storyline, except Harley Quinn is a sycophant who is in love with him, and it's
Yeah.
not a delusion, it's real. And at the end of the
Yeah.
movie, she just throws him away because he didn't embrace
He
the
renounces. He
delusions.
renounces the Joker. Yeah.
And by the way, I don't even understand that whole part of the movie of where he just goes, "Oh yeah, I'm not the Joker." Like I just because it's like to me, it feels like he was fed a lie. And I just like, wouldn't it have
Yeah.
been more satisfying? Because this is also too, I think the problem with serial killers is that, or someone like Charles Manson, for example, okay, that these people are reinforced their delusions by how society and these institutions like the police and all these
Yep.
the court system, and so then they just go, no, this is me, right? And I think that would have been a lot more satisfying as audience members for him to realize, no, there's really no Arthur, there's no Joker, we're all the same. It's all just one of us.
Mm-hmm.
And to just embrace it and leave it as that, right? Because it's like this whole, and especially, and I'll get to the ending after, but I just think it's too muddy. It's too messy. It's not clear. It's not the conclusion that they reach is not interesting, and as a result, it just makes a very boring movie to watch and sit down. And this entire time, it wasn't like I'm compelled or I want to see what happens next because it was going at such a snail pace of like we're in the courtroom and then it's the next day, and the
Yes.
courtroom drama is not interesting because they're
No.
just regurgitating shit that we already knew, right? And I wish there was maybe a bigger time jump because they also say, oh, they have this TV movie that they made. They made a fucking TV
How
movie in
long?
two
Yeah, like
years.
in the 80s.
Like a
Like in the,
TV movie for a
yeah.
serial killer would come out, 10 years, 20 years
Yeah, they
later.
already made one. Yeah, they already made one like
Like
two
it
years.
would have been way more interesting
Yeah.
if, and this is the problem, right? It's like it really should have been 5 years, 6 years later,
Yeah, they should
right?
do
And
Batman
And
Joker
he's an
beside them.
older person who is still this Joker who's in prison, and he's an infamous serial killer, and he falls in love with a sycophant. Or you could even have it be the classic Harley Quinn where she's the doctor, right? And
And she
he's
is a
like changing her.
psychiatrist.
They really should have stick closer to the comic with
You know
Harley
what?
Quinn because it would have
He
been
could
more
have,
interesting
he could
what
have
they could
pulled
have
off
done.
that sympathy card with Harley Quinn. He could have, because the Joker
Yeah,
does that. Joker's
they
manipulative.
they I think that like it just feels more disappointing that Todd Phillips, who clearly does
Honest,
have an interest in serial killers, didn't do a good examination
I'm gonna say that out
of a
loud.
serial killer.
I'm
Like
gonna
it
say that
really
out
was
loud.
not.
I'm gonna say this out loud right here. Yes, this is different from the comics. This is an Elseworld Joker. The first movie, I understand. That's like Joker. Okay, this movie is an insult to the comic version of the Joker.
Yeah, which is what, like it's been 5 years. We just have to
Yeah,
accept it. I didn't
yeah.
go in this movie thinking there's going to be all this stuff that is like the comic. I'm
I,
just there to be like, okay, it's a Joker, it's a Harley. I'm gonna kind of base my opinion on Harley Quinn from the comics or the animated show or what we know of Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And just a little bit because it's like, yeah, you are introducing that character. She is kind of the main focus. And I was just shocked that she's barely in the movie. It's not that Lady Gaga is bad. It's just she's not like
Interesting.
like you feel no sympathy for her character whatsoever.
The thing is, she dresses like she eventually, right? She puts on lipstick, makeup. She doesn't even do fucking Harley Quinn stuff like laugh or anything like
Yeah.
that.
I also think another problem, and this is where I say that some of the drama and the tension and suspense has kind of went away, is I,
Well,
I
Joker
think
doesn't do
I
anything.
think Arthur really should have puzzled together, oh, she's not really in love with me. She's actually a rich, wealthy girl who put herself there. I
But this
think
Joker's
that's what
dumb.
the movie should have, because the lawyer just tells him straight up,
Yeah.
hey, she all the shit. And you're like, wouldn't it have it been better for him to learn that on his own through asking her questions, through talking with her?
Well, this
You know,
Joker's
like and 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 they kind of show like kind of hints of that, like she's gonna turn on him in his delusions, but it's not. It's his delusions, right? Like we needed something that's like, oh, like is it him just being scared or is it true? Like there needed to be some doubt. There needed to be some conflict there. And that's the main problem with the story and why I feel like it's boring. It's that it's lacking conflict. It's lacking
the
like
only
Joker's just there even when he was at the trial.
the
Like
only
why is he representing
the only
himself?
thing that's
What was the point of
relatable.
that?
The only thing that was relatable to the comic versus Joker is something terrible, bad stuff made him what he is. That's Joker in a nutshell. Like that's what that's what
Yeah, I
that's
mean that's the basis of the
yeah.
entire story,
Yeah,
right?
even
Of
in
the
comic
first one.
versus Joker, something bad had to happen to Joker to make him that way. To to uh, to compare Batman, right? Right? Because something
Right.
bad happened to Bruce Wayne, become Batman. That's the Joker. So in this movie, I'll give kudos to that. We kind of got his upbringing, so I give kudos to that in that aspect. But everything else, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
I just feel personally like okay, like I
This
want to go
hurts.
back to this point. When he fires his lawyer and then he represents himself, it was like why like he's not even making an argument
No,
to get himself out, right? It was almost like he's just digging his grave. And you're like, okay, yeah, that might be the point that you're trying to get at, but it doesn't it's not very satisfying because it's like, well,
you know
we
what
know
it
what's
is.
gonna happen. We know exactly what's gonna
You know
happen, and it
what? They
did
never put
happen.
him
But
on. You know
also,
what it
here's
is?
the
They
thing.
should have
Here's
put him
the
on
thing.
stand. They should have put him on stand for
Here's the
Christian.
other thing. Like, I feel like it could have been more rewarding if you were gonna kill the Joker or Arthur Fleck to kill him when he's at his highest than at
Yeah,
his lowest. Like,
Right.
you killed him at his lowest, where if you had killed him at his highest, where like, let's say he got out of the court, he's embracing the Joker role. Him and Harley are happy. He's killed a few more people. The inmates he got the inmates at Arkham riled up against the corrupt officers. Things are going his way. Then all of a sudden, someone kills him. Like and it
Mhm.
causes the Joker cult to like go crazy and like declare war on Gotham City and inspires maybe a new Joker
dude.
personality. To me, I feel like that would
Right.
have probably been a more satisfying ending than killing him at his lowest in Arkham.
Yeah, like this guy. Okay, so let's talk about the ending, right? Because the ending, to me, it's like first off, to me, it doesn't even make a lot of sense. Like that, okay, he's rejected the Joker persona, and now everybody around him is upset, and that guy comes up to him and shanks him and kills him, and then it's implied that now that guy's gonna take on the
The
Joker
Joker.
persona. But you're like, and by the way, that guy is so they do an interesting thing in the movie with that guy, right? Because he
He's in the
doesn't enter.
background a lot.
He's in the background a lot, but if you notice in the beginning of the movie, he actually tried to kill Arthur, and it actually the camera's blurred on him, and he takes a swing, and the police grab him and beat him up, and then the camera follows Arthur. I'm not sure if anybody caught that, but it's the
Oh
exact
no! I
same
didn't.
guy. It's the exact same, and that guy every time they're in the inmate, he is right beside Arthur, blurred. Right in the background, like the focal length is blurred.
Yeah,
So it's clearly implied that again what the movie's trying to say is that guy is his shadow, right? Like the Joker persona is something that is going to
It's a
be carried
mantle.
on. It's a mantle.
Even though in the comics it's not really that.
It's
It's a
not
mantle.
really a mantle. But the
Yeah.
thing is, in this movie, it still doesn't make sense
Yeah.
because the circumstance in the first movie that is set up for him to become the Joker is why he's in. I mean, that's why we're telling the story. It's that the man was so beaten and broken that he is now transformed into this monster, right? And it's a large part society's fault. Now, again, people can argue whatever they want about the first movie, but that's the main point. And in
That's what
this
makes
movie,
Joker is society. Gotham.
yeah,
That's
in
Batman.
this
That's the Batman
movie,
lore.
they're trying to say that oh, it's the shadow, it's not him doing it, but let's be honest, right? It is him doing it.
Yeah, of
And that's
course.
where the movie, in my opinion, loses me because the shadow, I mean, the shadow, okay, this is like, psychology stuff, but the shadow is a idea. I'm pretty sure it's a Carl Jung idea where it's like, we everybody has a shadow where it's like the dark part of themselves, the
Yeah.
things that they hide, right? It's sort of like if you see that iceberg, right? It's like the deep part of the iceberg. And we all have that inside ourselves, right? But the thing is, the shadow is us. The shadow is always part of us. And so to say that it's separated, that there's a light side and there's a dark side, that's not really true, right? We are all made up of the good and the bad parts of ourselves, and that's make us who we are. And so that's why personally for me, just knowing that, and I mean, I'm not like some psychology major, but like I did take a psychology class and I did learn about that stuff, and that was usually the parts that interest me the most was Carl Jung, right? It's very like Carl Jung and Freud. It's a lot of archetypes. It's more. It's to be honest, for me, it's more like philosophy, but it relates a lot to storytelling, and a lot of storytellers use a lot of these elements of psychology in their movies. Another person who likes to do this, which is not a surprise because his work is referenced in this movie, is Christopher Nolan, right?
Yeah.
So the ending of the movie to me, when he just gets stabbed, to be honest, I felt like, like this entire time they were just beating up on him in this movie. He's supposed to be sympathetic, and then he gets fucking shanked
But I don't want a
by this
sympathetic
fucking
Joker. I want
guy.
I want the Joker.
Yeah, I don't think they.
Like
I
he
mean,
does
I don't
nothing.
mind that okay, they build up the character, they shit on the character. I just
Yeah,
think
but they do
they
stuff to
just
react to
needed
them.
to do it in a more interesting way.
He
That's it.
does
I'm not a fan of the
nothing.
execution.
He
That's
should have
it.
killed those fucking security guards. I'm sorry. Like
I mean, he should have done. I mean, there should have been. I think that in all honesty, there was too many ideas going on with this movie.
Thank you. Thank you. I said the
Too
same
many
thing.
too many ideas. You got the
I
Harley
mean,
Quinn stuff. You got this split personality. You got the courtroom
Well,
drama. A lot
this
of these
movie
well,
is
things
less
could have
blinded,
been
violent. This is
blinded,
less
split up.
violent than the first movie. I think
blinded.
they toned down the shit in this movie.
Well,
Yeah.
blinded. I might be wrong, but I felt like this movie was where the first Joker basically only just combined King of Comedy and Taxi Driver,
Oh
which
yeah,
are
name
two
all those
Martin
fucking
Hmm.
words.
Scorsese movies that focus on like
Yeah, name
a
them all.
psychopath, crazy person that's obsessed with something. This
Right.
movie was trying to be Shawshank Redemption with My Cousin Vinny, La La
Mm.
Land, A Few Good Men, Singing in the Rain, Chicago,
Yeah. It.
flirting with being
Too many
Bonnie and
movies. Too
Clyde,
many movies
Natural
right
Born
now.
Right.
Killers. Like it wanted to be all these different movies that are from different directors, different genres, and it just like listen.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the first half when it was focused on Arkham Asylum. I actually thought that was one of the more interesting aspects.
Right.
But then it was like halfway through the court stuff, it just started making bad decision after bad decision, and
Oh
it
my
had every
god.
Yeah.
opportunity to course correct itself, but it never did. It just kept it shot itself in the foot even more. And actually,
It.
you know what? Actually, it actually did borrow something from Martin Scorsese movie. Have you guys ever seen The Departed?
Yeah, of
Yes.
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
at the end of The Departed, where Matt Damon's character finally gets killed.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Everybody gets
basically
killed
what
at the end.
happened. Joker
Yeah.
finally got killed in a very anticlimactic way. The
Yeah.
difference is The Departed is such a phenomenal movie the way Matt Damon's character died, it kind of felt fitting. Where here it was like this is like an even bigger
it was
low
like
point.
whiplash. Him getting shanked was like whiplash. You're like, it doesn't feel like a that this would happen so quickly because it's like the movie like he starts off where he's not really the Joker. He falls in love
That's
with
my
Harley
issue.
Quinn. He
That's
gets
my
back
problem.
into the groove, but then the groove is like it's like
Do
he's
you
not really he's
do you
not the
th-
Joker. He's the Joker. He's not really the Joker.
do you do you think
They
it's
those musicals, they really fucked up with the musicals. They really did
yes?
because
You
it
know,
could have been much better.
They need to reduce some of them. They
especially
can't too
because
much.
in any comics, movies, video games, cartoons that have had the Joker and music involved, it's handled very well. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
Batman '89 when Joker's dancing around with his men and they're playing Party Man, ruining the art. I was like, that's funny. That's one of the best parts of that
I
movie. Arkham Knight when the like hallucination
I
of
was
Joker is singing, that was great. That's one
I'll
of the
let you
best
yeah.
know.
There's
parts.
also okay. This is also
Let you
interesting
know.
too because but
I was against a musical Joker too from the start.
yeah, I didn't. I'm not a fan of the idea, but I'm because we
I
talked
was
about this
open to
last
it,
night.
but I was
I'm
against it.
okay with creative risks, right? That
Yeah,
it's clearly was a creative risk. I don't have a problem with them doing it. I think the execution is bad. That's it, right? I'm not saying they should have never done it. I'm saying I see where they were going, and I think there's a
it was
better
President's
version of
delusions.
this
Yeah,
that they could have done because I really think they should have played up that angle of what is real and what is not real. And the musical is a perfect way of doing that because there could be moments where you go, is this real or is this not real? But they decided to
they
go,
made it too
this is not
obvious.
all real.
They made
And
it too
there's
obvious.
there before he really meets
Yeah.
Harley Quinn. There's that guy who
You see,
introduces that
you
him. Hold
see.
on, wait. I want to hold on. I want to make this point because it's because what the character says makes
Yeah,
no fucking sense. And it's supposed to be a thematic like this dialogue is literally on the nose, okay? So there's that the guy who's running the music for the inmates, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He says, you know, music is a very powerful tool. It lets you express yourself and make the true version of you come out. And that was like when I heard that, I'm like, okay, that's an important piece of line that he's saying there, right? That's almost on the nose because what they're trying to say is that the music is going to allow Arthur to come out and be his true self. But that's not what happened.
He
No,
That's
never
not what
did.
happened. He never
no.
did. He
And
did it in
blinded,
his head. That
blinded.
was the
Exactly,
problem.
exactly. See all of his head. What I like about the Joker one, when we saw what's in his head, we didn't know it was in his
We
head. With the
didn't know it was in
relationship
his head.
with the
Exactly.
girl in the same building, we didn't know it
Right.
was in
And
his
I
head.
think they could have used there were so many opportunities where they could have had a musical with the inmates. Is
Yeah,
this
why
real? Is this
not?
not real?
Why
They
not?
could have had
Yeah,
a musical where, because remember, the judge says, I'm not going to tolerate any outbursts. They could have
yeah.
had an outburst and the judge could have been screaming his head off, but no, everybody's ignoring him. Right? They could have had, when he escapes, they could have had a musical there where he's
The
escaping
only
and all his supporters are helping him.
the
There's
only
all these
time
parts in the movie where you're like, you could have put a musical here and it would have advanced the
the
story.
only,
It would have been impactful and you would have gotten the emotional weight of what you're.
See,
blinded.
see, here's the
They
thing.
fucked
Here's the
up. They
thing. Here's the
fucked
thing.
up.
Here's
The
the
only
thing.
time when I thought,
With all that,
yeah,
that we're saying, it's like the problem is that this is that because everyone keeps saying this was an unnecessary sequel. No, there was potential
No,
actually with
I
this.
don't
The problem
exactly.
is that
I
it
don't
never
agree with what people are saying. I'm 100%. But yeah, sorry.
like the
also,
problem is that there was potential for a sequel. There was stuff in here that could have made a good sequel, but they never tapped into it.
No,
yeah,
it felt like
blinded. The only
yeah.
time
Go
when
go.
I thought where the singing was real is in Arkham when they were all watching TV.
Right.
I thought that was real. That's the only part I thought was real.
And that was actually a good scene in my opinion.
Yeah,
That
that's
was a
it.
scene where you felt like okay, now they're getting into that relationship,
Yeah,
but the music, I think they really should have you connect that line of this is your true self and have musical numbers that were key points in the movie where he is now unrevealing himself as the Joker.
you know he
And
wants he
I because
He wants to
you
be
didn't need
Joker,
to
but he
do a
can't
third
be
movie.
Joker.
Yeah,
Like,
they could have. I mean, and in all honesty, too, I think what would have been more interesting of a way to kill Arthur. And again, this is my opinion. People are allowed to disagree, right? I always got to put that out there.
they're not
But
allowed. I'm kidding.
oh man, but if I looked at Todd Phillips and we were having a conversation, I would tell him why don't you kill him as the Joker?
Yeah,
Because the
yeah.
people are so infatuated, and I would have, and this would have been controversial, but in the movie, I would have made Harley Quinn kill the Joker
Why not?
because she was so wanting that persona, right?
Why that scene
Or
at the ending
or
scene when she ditches him? That's a perfect part to do it at.
it should have been he embraces the Joker, he embraces his true self, and the tragedy of that is that his true self is dangerous. It's going to cripple society, and
Oh
as a
yeah,
result, people are going to want to mimic him, and they're going to want to take him
like the
out and
comics
become
version.
him.
Yeah, the chaos version. Like
And
like the
that's what
new
that's what
thing.
they should have. And I wonder,
Oh yeah, and yeah.
did they was it too similar to the first movie? But that would have been an interesting way to kill him
Yeah.
off, is that you
There
kill
is
him off because people want his
there
place,
is
they want his status.
in the comics the Joker does have a following.
Yeah, I think Todd Phillips, listen, I'm not going to be one of these people who sit here and say it's like what George was saying. I don't think this was a wait. Well, it's a waste of a sequel, but it's a sequel where you could see the makings of it, and someone really should have stepped in and said, you have a really great idea that builds on the first movie that can actually make the first movie even better. Um, but you have to take it in these different directions, and you can't just sh- leave the character on this bitter note. It has to be a tragic note, but it has to be one where you go,
This would be
"Oh shit,
this would
this
be
all
perfect.
connects."
Right here, no
Yeah,
slurs. Perfect.
I 100% agree with you and Aaron. That would have been the height of the movie, and
Yeah.
that would have been the massive twist, and you go, "Oh shit."
Dancing. How about doing the dance too? And then she stabs him.
Yeah.
Or actually, here's another idea. Like, let's say like Joker gets killed off, but it's not by Harley, because you know how Harley said she was pregnant.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Like
that's a
Harley
lot.
has the
Yeah.
baby at the end, and like she makes a promise that he'll continue his father's legacy.
I don't think that was a lot,
It's
wasn't it?
like I think that would have actually
Hmm.
even been more interesting as well, because it's like, you know what, like the Joker movement still lives on,
Actually,
and you have a heir apparent, and it's like, is this a problem that Gotham's going to have for
Right.
years to come?
oh yeah.
And maybe you have fans toying with the idea of, oh, will this baby be the Joker
And
that
this
that
Harley,
Batman fights when Batman becomes an adult?
will this Harley fall for
Like you
Right.
can
the
have
Joker?
even fun fan theories with it. They didn't
This
even do that.
and what like
No, yeah, they didn't really
They didn't even
there
explore the
wasn't
pregnancy
did he
angle.
say why Harley
well,
fell
I
in love
think the
with Joker?
pregnancy angle, to be honest, George, I think it was her just lying to him. That's
That's
how
true.
I
Lie
took it.
is lie. It
That
was
could
a
have been.
lie.
That was true.
The
Yeah,
thing is,
that
you don't even
because
know
it
why.
was the thing is, like, when she says that, it was like, well, this was like what, 2 weeks after they have. Well, yeah, that was also a weird scene too, where they have sex in the cell. That was weird, but
They had his brother.
it
Jerome had
was
his
like it
brother
was
too.
too quick for that to even make sense. So I thought that was just a manipulation attempt, right? Of like getting him to be attached to her, right? But it's like, yeah, he, like,
Hey, you know
it,
that kid has money though because she comes from a wealthy family.
well, I really wish they kept that. I think Arthur should have puzzled that together himself, because I understand that, you know, and this is another thing too, that Todd Phillips, he just talked way too much, but he said he's not a mastermind, right? But I don't
Well,
think just because he's not a mastermind doesn't mean Arthur's not smart.
clearly, clearly, he's not
Arthur
a mastermind.
Arthur is smart, and that's why he was so upset at his situation, because he
There's
knew that the situation of his life was not his fault. And I mean, most people won't understand this, but people who are in that situation are a lot more intelligent than people on the outside
Well,
believe,
serial killers are very
right?
intelligent.
Well, yeah, they are. They are. I mean, so, like they have insanely high IQs, but
Yes.
they can't
I
emotion.
mean,
They just have problems with their emotions.
Batman villains always been known to have high IQs.
Yeah, but they.
That's why they're
And the
doctors
thing
and
is,
stuff, right? That's
for
why they're
for
doctors.
yeah, for Todd Phillips to kind of ignore that. Like we're not
Doctors,
saying
yes.
it, he doesn't need to be a criminal mastermind, but he needs to be smart enough to maybe I mean when you first fall in love, yeah, you're kind of like maybe deluded,
I don't
or
even.
you're not really seeing the red flags, but the red flags should have been
No, he's not
for
stupid.
us.
Yeah.
It should, that's what the movie was missing in my opinion. It should
They,
have
they they
we
they constantly say low IQ. I don't think it was low
Yeah.
IQ.
I
I
don't think
just
he was loyal, but that was just him. That was just them trying to,
yeah to
discredit him.
berate. Yeah, discredit, berate
Yeah,
him. Yeah.
yeah. It's the Harley Quinn in the movie. I just feel like she should have been there, and she should have been constantly there, and it should have been like, you know, there's moments where they're in love, and then there's times where he's like, "Oh, what you said is weird. That doesn't add up." Right? Having the lawyer just divulge this information, it really was like, well, now why are we going to care about Harley Quinn? And I know that may be the point, but you need to make it, we need some suspense. We need some to sit there and be like, oh, does she really love him? Or is it all a fake? Or, well, I mean, she did this, she did that, but then she also did that. Like, that's what makes movies entertaining.
I don't
And
know.
that's what I feel like most of this movie kind of forgets. It's like they're so occupied with the musical and the trial, and it's like there's no room
That
to
trial
really
was like an
even
hour
build
long,
up
man.
Harley Quinn.
That trial
Yeah,
was
it
an
was
hour
long.
long.
It was long, tedious, and it was like repetitive.
And you know the worst thing is we didn't get to see Arthur get interviewed either. They should have put Arthur on the stand.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing is, I mean, how come they didn't interview his psychologist from the first movie?
Oh yes, it did.
Oh, the black lady? I didn't see her.
Yeah, she
Where was she?
survived. She lived. She didn't. She didn't. Yes, they did. Did they, George?
No, they didn't. They just brought they brought the guy, the little person. They brought
No,
the next door
they bought the
neighbor.
psychologist.
No,
Yes, they
the
did.
psychologist was the Asian guy.
No,
In the
they
first
had
movie,
she had a support worker too. She
they
wasn't
did. Okay,
dead.
well, fuck, I didn't
Yeah, I thought
remember
they
then.
killed her too. I thought he killed her, but he didn't.
Okay, well, I don't remember, so I apologize. But yeah.
Cause yeah. Also, like the thing is, why she he said a while ago, right? When Joker
Mm,
decided to become his own defense attorney, you know why? Because he wants to get his side of his story out. So that's because I'm like, I was thinking,
right,
yeah, because nobody would put him on the stand,
right. I mean, they
right?
didn't. I mean, I think they. I mean, and to be fair, there isn't a lot of people Arthur could have interviewed. But like the questions,
But
I think
but his
when he
attorney should have
brings
done that,
on.
right? His attorney should put him on the stand,
Yeah,
right?
and his attorney was, and I was telling my friend, right, like I know this is a movie and stuff, but it's like there's so many things that just feel like the person who's writing this doesn't understand
If you're
the
defending
court system, and
if you're
the
defending
his
someone, right, you put that person you're defending on the stand to hear from what they have to say.
because okay, what I don't there's so many things that was wrong because it's like the lawyer's trying to build this case, this argument, but it's like who, who do they have to prove that he was
Yeah, yeah,
delusional? It
yeah.
was like they'd never and when I first heard them say that, I thought about it, right, and I was like, he wouldn't win that case because I don't see how
He
you
wasn't
can
going to
make
win
even
that
make that
case.
argument. What we know, I mean, obviously this is not how it works in courts. Obviously,
Well, yeah, we know how
we
TV and
are
movie
we
court
are
system. You know
no,
how
no,
they
no,
work. You
no,
know
no.
how they
That's not
work.
what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say is we as viewers watch the first movie, and so we have that information there. And when they present that argument to me as a viewer, it was hard to believe because
Yeah,
we know that the first movie is a buildup of a series of events that make him into the Joker, and that the Joker persona was not there until that very ending of the movie.
And he and also he said, "Can you call me Joker?"
Right. I
Like,
mean, this was the first movie was his stages of becoming that. It wasn't
yes,
like it wasn't like in the movie he
it
was
was like
switching between them. It
it
was
was
like
like
an
that.
alter
You know what
ego.
it is? I think it's a contrast, a comparable contrast, whatever, to Batman and Bruce Wayne, that kind of thing,
Well,
right?
they didn't really do, but they didn't.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
that was the case, right? If they really were like, oh, let's
Oh,
put that in there because of Batman, it didn't work.
yeah, it
It
didn't work.
simply didn't work
He
because it's not set up properly.
yeah, well, yeah.
And this movie itself, what we
I
see,
think what it is, Joker should be his real persona, like how Batman is Bruce Wayne's real persona,
right?
right?
I just feel like the uh, again, I think the movie really should have, if they really wanted to go about this angle, I think the movie should have start off with him as Joker in prison with the
Yeah,
makeup, and he puts on maybe
yeah.
some shoddy makeup, maybe it's blood or whatever, but he puts on some shoddy makeup and he's confident and he's walking around, he's bossing the guards around, and the
Be
guards are
the
like,
Joker.
this is not you. This is what they should have, this would have been way, and I know this is my like idea or whatever, right? So of course I'm biased, but to me this would have made more sense if the guards weren't beating up on him, but the guards were challenging him. You know what, Arthur, I don't believe you're the Joker. And then that makes him go, no, I'm the Joker, what the fuck are you talking about, right? And he's confident and blah blah blah, and then he
Yeah, this
meets
Joker's a
Harley Quinn,
pussy.
and then he, yeah, and he's still, he has that confidence, but then there's seeds of of doubt,
It's
and
like
that's
it's
what cripples him throughout the movie, is
you know
that,
what it's
oh, these
like.
things are real.
You know what it's like. It was like okay, he should have. Yeah, he's the first movie. That's when he becomes the Joker, and the second movie is like beginning of it is like, oh my god, we're back to Arthur Fleck.
Yeah, we're back at, yeah, that part to me, why was there even that change? Like what
Yeah,
caused that change in those 2 years? Is it
then it
because
be
he's
then
just
it
been in
be
prison?
then it be the Joker insane, whatever. Then it be the Joker. No, no, he can
Yeah,
still be the Joker and fake being Arthur Fleck. Joker does fake, fake all the time. Like I mentioned this George before you got on. Dark Knight. Remember when he goes back? Remember he was faking remorse, sympathy, all that
right.
stuff. And remember what he did on this kind of like what he did in the first movie. It's a little similar, like he did in the first movie. Killed everybody on the TV show. Gassed like the whole studio. Remember that? He
Right.
can, Joker has been able to fake. He can, you know what? He can
Well,
fake being Arthur Fleck, but he's still the
also,
Joker.
blinded. Here's something I was talking to about with Aaron before he came on. So like when he's like making his final like statements to the jury, instead of like sounding so like sad, they should have had him like embrace it. And when he's revealing that he killed
Right.
his mom, like open up about why he did it, between the lies, the abuse,
Yes.
and like
Right.
how he said on the Murray Franklin show in the first movie how he had no regrets killing those men. He should have said, I had no regrets killing my mom, basically embracing the Joker role, maybe even scaring some of the Joker cultists by saying, yikes, he even killed his own mom. I don't even know
I think
what to think of this
Right.
anymore.
I think the only
Like that
regret he
should have
had.
been where he would have been like, you know what? Screw what the people think.
The
And
thing
like
is,
maybe that also gets the inmates in Arkham who are watching like riled up, and like they turn on the corrupt guards, and like as the stuff is happening in court, there's an Arkham uprising happening, the explosion still happens, but like Joker uses it to like
yeah,
escape, and he fully embraces his audience.
Right.
Like I felt like there were so many opportunities to
Yeah, there's lots of
really like
opportunities.
continue what was building up from that first movie. Now, did it ruin the
Right.
first movie for me? No, but I felt like the potential to build upon that was wasted. Like
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
that this movie was unnecessary. It's just like the potential for a
I
sequel
feel like there's scenes
was
missing in this movie
wasted.
that needs to be in this movie too.
Say
Like,
that again?
I feel like there's scenes in this movie they took out that probably should not have been taken out.
Yeah. 100%. I believe that too. Yeah, especially with Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
I struggle to really see. Um, I think they may have like changed things around because they felt maybe it was too controversial or they didn't have enough time. But
too controversial.
I
This
think yeah, because I think maybe I wouldn't be surprised if Harley Quinn in some original draft that she took over the mantle because that seems like wouldn't that make more sense in the movie this random guy and they do and like I said there is that allusion to that guy that he's always trying to hover over Arthur and take him over but he's not a main character right he's not a character
no,
who
no,
even talks to Arthur in the movie right so it's like I mean besides the ending obviously but it just it kind of just comes out of nowhere and you're like well if this guy is now and he's cutting his face and he's laughing it just felt like who cares if that guy's the next Joker because that's not the story that we're following it's not like the story's not about this mantle it was about Arthur and
yes.
Arthur is the Joker right and to say that because
Joker is a
Todd Phillips is
persona,
like
not a
oh
mantle.
anybody could be the Joker anybody no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think the Joker is a
That's why we don't
character
like.
that
That's why we
is
don't like the three Jokers or anything like that. Because Joker
no,
is like,
I just don't like this idea that there is this idea that there's I mean cuz okay, let me rephrase that, right? Because I get what he's trying to say that anybody can become the Joker, right? And it goes back to that idea
yes,
and
that
again,
is
I
true.
don't want to bring up the comic, but the comic is it's like, if you had that one bad day, you're going to turn into the Joker. Anybody could be the Joker in that sense, right? But I think
Or you
the
could be
issue
like
is
Batman.
that it's not, or yeah, or you could be like Batman, right? And it's that duality. But,
It's what direction you choose to go.
right. But
Yeah,
in this movie, that idea doesn't make a lot of sense.
because the guy's already in
It's not,
prison.
well, no, it's not because he's in prison, but because we're only following Arthur. It's Arthur's story. So to
Yeah.
have this idea that oh, so anybody else can take his role, it just feels cheap. It feels like, well, why are we following Arthur and not somebody else? Why can't we why is this movie about him and not another version of the Joker? Right? Like why not just make it oh yeah, this is like 20 years after
why
and Arthur is just a
why
serial
can't you
killer
take
that
him under?
someone is
Why
mimicking.
not take him under his ring or something? And he betrays him. He comes to Joker. Be
Well,
like,
because that guy killed him because he was like, oh well, you gave up the mantle and now I'm gonna kill you
well, like the
and
Sith
take it.
killed his master. Why not do something like that? Like the protege kills his
I
master.
just think they don't even need to really do that. I think
And
the only character that really could have done that is Harley Quinn,
they should.
not
Yeah.
this random thug in prison, right? Because it just feels like oh, this guy who's
It should have
been
been
roaming
Wiki.
around
It should be that
is the
guy who.
guy who kills the Joker. Really?
It should have been it should have been Arthur's fanboy in prison. He had a fanboy or
Yeah,
something.
or his yeah that fanboy that was like copying him. That would have made. I thought it was gonna be him.
Me
To be
too. Me
honest,
too.
that was the guy. But then I was like, no, it was the guy who was going to fight him. And I remember I was like, it's either going to be this guy that is blurred out the
What's his
entire
name?
time,
Wiki. The fanboy's
or
Wiki, right?
the guy that was singing in the cell. Right? I was like thinking that's the guy who's gonna stab him. I think it should have been the guy who was singing. I think that would have made a little bit more sense because he was hanging around Joker more,
Yeah.
right? But I don't know. I think at the end of the day, if this movie was successful, let's say, and it was making money just like the first one,
I don't. It's not gonna make
I
anywhere
think it would have
close.
made a third. I think they would have made a third movie
I don't think
with
this is
Harley
making. I don't
Quinn.
even think. I don't think this is gonna even reach half of a billion.
No, I don't even. I don't think so either. People are walking out. This is getting
Yeah.
slammed, and I don't blame people for disliking this
You know
movie.
what's gonna be
It's
my
a
hot
boring
take?
movie.
You know what my hot take is? You know how the first one got nominated for Oscars? This could be nominated for Razzies, maybe.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that because there's just been. I mean, Borderlands was really bad. Madam
Oh,
Web,
Madam
like
Web is gonna be
it's
nominated
not
for
on the
sure.
same level of those movies, but it's a movie where you're just like, this is like a creative misfire. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not that it's a bad idea from the beginning. It's like no, this was just a really
No,
bad
no, like
execution, and I don't
yeah.
really understand what Todd. It was almost like Todd Phillips, and this is what I think happened. I don't. Again, maybe they'll come out and say what actually happened, but I feel like what ended up happening was Joker 1 was indeed only one
So
movie. And they had
so
maybe ideas of a sequel, but as time went on, they were never approached to do a sequel. And when they got the opportunity, they were like, "Okay, we'll how do we make a sequel that is going to be appealing all these years later?" And they go, "Okay, let's put Harley Quinn." But then Todd Phillips, because they probably gave him reins to do whatever, right? Even though he got this massive budget, he was like, "Okay, I'm going to do whatever. This is going to be the last movie." And I think that was I think in his intentions was realistically to not make a
I
sequel.
don't know how
Even
he's
even
going to
if he was
be.
kicking around the idea, I think he the first movie when he made it, he saw it as a standalone movie, and when you view that movie, it feels like a standalone
It
movie.
does.
And the whole going back and saying we did have a sequel in mind. Maybe you talked about it, but it was not something that you were thinking about when you
I
were
don't
making that first
I
movie
don't
because
know
it
how they
doesn't
had.
show. It doesn't show.
I don't know how this is a 200 million budget movie
I
because
don't either. I
this
don't
film
either.
doesn't know it was 200 million. Like
No.
okay,
I don't
it,
I don't know how it almost looks identical to the first movie except maybe
yeah.
there's the courtroom scenes. It's
They only literally they only literally
a
go to
lot of
two
spending
places:
time in
Arkham,
Arkham
and
and
yeah,
the
they literally go to
courtroom.
Arkham in the courtroom. That's basically it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's more that was cut out. I don't know.
I don't
But
know. That's
I struggle. I really do struggle to see. Um, like I don't know. There's so many. There was a lot of people in my theater, and my theater was pretty small, and everybody just got up and groaned and said that was disappointing, and they left.
oh yeah.
I didn't hear one person go, that wasn't that bad, or like, oh, that was actually pretty good. Like everybody walked out and groaned and just was like, man, what was this? What was that?
My
I
mom
don't want
actually was
Todd to do DC, man. I'm sorry. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. If Todd is a fan of DC or
my
Marvel.
He
mom
doesn't.
like
He's not
my mom turned
interested.
to me and was like,
Yeah.
"That was some weird shit." She
Honestly,
Yeah,
pulled George W.
most
Bush.
people are gonna walk away from this movie and just feel empty. Like there's nothing interesting that's said.
no, it's boring. It's
There's
Yeah,
yeah, it's boring.
I was telling
It's
like my coworkers at the preschool because they knew I was going to see. They're like, "Oh, how was the movie?" I was like, "It was a letdown."
yeah.
And they're like, "Oh,
yeah,
really?" I was like, "I didn't even know I don't know what they were going for with this movie, but good lord."
yeah, whatever. I, I mean they tried, but they did
Here's the
not.
thing:
Here's the thing.
It was a
they had
misfire.
good ideas that did not execute well,
Yeah,
and
they were not well executed.
most of
Yeah.
the bad execution was in the second half,
Yeah,
Oh, it's
where and it felt like once the first big bad idea happened in the second half, they didn't know how to course correct it, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
it's a.
yeah.
And it's a shame because
I'm
I
gonna
think it
say
was
this
what
blinded. I think Venom 3 might actually be better in this film. Hot take.
no,
I don't know about that, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it might be more entertaining,
it'll
you
probably be
know,
more
Or
entertaining.
expectations
because
are met, so
also
Venom
too
3 is
even because we
so.
know, listen, there's movies that are not entertaining, but they're art house movies. They're movies that have
Yeah,
something to say. I'm not against those movies. Obviously, if you've listened to me long enough on
yeah.
Aaron streams, you know that
I think
I love
yesterday.
movies. I do love movies.
Yesterday.
I do watch movies of all different types. Right. I'm not against that. I'm just and this is why I wanted to come on and talk about it in a way of like if I was talking to Todd Phillips, and obviously I'm a fucking nobody, right? But I would say, hey, dude, you have some really good ideas, but if I was to watch this movie, I would be disappointed. I'd be let down because I feel like there wasn't anything that was said that was relevant.
And do you see Jeremy Johnson's video? It's exactly 11
Yeah,
minutes. Do you know why it's exactly 11 minutes? Because which festival is it? Sundance or Venice? One of the festivals. It might have been
Venice.
Venice, the one before Toronto, right? That's the one before
Yeah,
Toronto. There was barely 11 minutes standing ovation for this film. That has to
yeah.
be a lie. That has to be
No,
a
no,
lie.
it's true. It's true. They do this all the time. This always happens. At any festival, any major festival, there's
You know
long
why? They're
standing
not telling you. They're
ovations.
not telling. They're not telling you what they really feel.
No, it's just a formal thing. They do it all the time. I mean, sometimes people say it's an indication of the
It's
movie's
not.
quality. Like if it's like sometimes I think there's a record. I think it goes on like what
Also,
20
also the
minutes,
also
20
the
30
actors,
minutes.
also the actors and the directors are probably there too, so they don't
Hmm.
want to upset them.
Yeah, I mean they're not there to upset them, but I mean the movie's getting slammed by
Oh,
audiences
it's
and
like
critics.
30% something now. Both the critics and the audience score is very on par.
Yeah, this movie and it's gonna go down. Word of mouth on this movie is gonna be
It's
really bad.
going
I
down for
can't.
sure. This,
I if you had I don't know. I don't know. Is
oh
there anybody
yeah,
in the chat who didn't watch this movie yet?
sideways.
Okay, for Sideways or anybody else, I would say if you really want to watch the movie, just
This
wait
movie will be
until
on
it's on
HBO Max in
Max.
a month or two.
Yeah, wait until it's on Max. Don't pay money to see
And
this
I don't think it's
movie.
gonna be a long wait either, guys. I really don't
Yeah,
for HBO Max.
I think yeah. And I really the thing is this is not going to be a cult movie either. There's going to be maybe
No.
like a few people who are going to come out and say Joker 2 is a really good movie, but it's not a cult movie. This is not a cult movie at all.
Oh
It doesn't
no,
have the
no.
recipe. It doesn't have there's nothing really in it that you could sink your teeth into. And I told my friend when we left it, I was like, like those musical scenes, I don't even remember most of them. I don't remember the
Oh,
song. I don't know what the song was even about. I know there were songs that exist, right? There's no original song
I'll, s-
in the movie, but like they were not good songs in my opinion.
I'll
I think
say
the first movie had a better soundtrack.
I'll say this, I think Gaga did a decent job, but there's at times look like she didn't care.
No, yeah, I don't I think she did what she could do.
Yeah.
She did her best.
But
I,
look,
I
she's
think Lady Gaga is actually, to be honest, a decent actor. And I think she just needs a good movie. That's it. I don't
she
think she's
needs
really
yeah.
been in a good movie yet.
She's not
I
one
mean,
of
she
those
was in
actors
Star Is
actresses
Born,
who can
but
carry a bad film.
yeah, yeah. I
Like
think I think she has a little
talent.
bit more ways to go, and I think she could have been a decent Harley Quinn.
Oh,
I
good.
think I think she could have been. I think she could have been a decent classic Harley Quinn. I think she has the. I mean, when I mean outside of interviews, like Lady Gaga is a very interesting person.
Yeah, she's young.
So
Sure.
yeah, she's a very interesting person, and I think that's why she's picking right now interesting projects, but the projects she's
Oh yeah.
picked have not been good. And
Uh,
it's not because of her
her
fault,
bit
it's just the
since
movie itself.
Star is Born.
Yeah, since A Star is Born. I think she needs to just I don't know, just keep going and eventually you'll find some movie
To be
that
honest with you,
yeah, is really good.
most musicians are not good actresses or actors.
Yeah. But
Lady
I wouldn't
Gaga's
say
one of the
her.
few. Lady
Yeah,
Gaga's one of the
very
few.
yeah, she's like the very lucky few who
And when I
can
mean by
act.
that, when I mean by that, a musician first and an actress later. There are some actresses that do later on become musicians, like
Right.
or
Oh,
music
and
and
by the way, this movie Lady Gaga's in this movie and she's doesn't really sing a lot in the movie.
no, no. She don't
Like
use her
she's not,
talent that
like
much.
n I mean
It's
you would think if you brought on Lady Gaga,
yeah,
why
no
not make
song,
music? Why not make original music
no
for this?
songs that long. The song's like 1 minute.
Like Lady Gaga does have like I mean, I haven't listened to her music in a very long time, but she does have pretty like I mean, I know she's more of a pop artist, but I feel like this movie kind of needed some like a pop song, like something that was like catchy or like very fast paced.
Very Lady
It was a
Gaga.
lot of like slow kind of like 40s, 50s, which I'm
Like
not
she
against
didn't
that
look
music, obviously.
honestly she's not look comfortable singing that kind of stuff. Like that.
Oh, and you know what was a song when people were talking about The Shadow, I thought they were gonna play what's this song's name? I
Oh.
it's a me and my oh, what's wrong with my keyboard? Okay, never mind. Keyboard's not on. Me and My Shadow. I thought they were gonna play. What's the band who sings this song? Not
Oh,
no. Who's it? Is it Me and My Shadow?
yeah, they
Maybe.
didn't have test screenings. You know, they did not do test screenings for this film.
Is it? Okay.
That's a bad thing, man. No test screenings.
Oh, okay. It's not. It's not. Okay. It's the ink spots, but it's not. It's not called my me and well. Okay. There's a lyric in the song that goes my echo, my shadow, and me. I thought they were gonna play that song because that song is so eerie. I love the ink spots just because of Fallout. You know, their songs are they use them in the Fallout games, but this song is like very slow, and I thought they were gonna use this song, right? Because it like it kind of matches what is going on, right? Where it's like me and my shadow and my echo, and we're all the same, and we're kind of like, the three of us, and we're lonely, right? Oh,
Yeah.
I think it was in Better Call Saul. Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
that's why I didn't use it. Yeah, maybe
Uh,
that's why it was like too like someone already popular used it, I guess. But they did use what's that song? It was in Guardians of the Galaxy. They did use that song.
yeah, yeah. Oh, Guardians got uses like every song.
Yeah, but it's the one in the first one. What was that? What was it called? Fuck. I was just thought. Fuck. Anyway. It's in Guardians of the Galaxy. You know that song.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna end it here. I'm just gonna say one thing because it is almost midnight and I'm a little bit need a snack. And
Right.
James Gunn, if you're listening to this, don't ruin Joker. Same with you, Matt Reeves. Don't ruin
Yeah. I
Joker.
don't. Honestly, after this, I feel like and someone said this. I think Joker of all iterations, I think he needs a revamp. I think
I
I think Joker I think Joker is now in the era of being so oversaturated that we need a brand new take on the Joker. A brand new,
I
it could be in the comics, it could be in a video game, it could be in a movie. I don't care what it is, but the Joker has become stale,
we could have got
unfortunately.
this with this Joker, but they blew it in this movie.
Yeah. The only thing I may take from like if someone ever was like, "Oh, make a Joker character or a new take." The one thing I will say that I liked visually speaking about this Joker is I like his makeup and I like his color scheme. It's
Yeah,
very
Yeah.
different from what we're used to with the Joker, right? With the purple and the green. That's
yeah. It's red.
classic
It's
villain
red.
colors.
It's red in this film, right? It says
Yeah.
a red suit.
I like I don't know, visually it was very striking and I like his red suit. And then when he has the green hair too, it's very like, you know, it's bold, right? And it's like if that guy was coming at you with a gun, you would fucking freak, right? Um, so I kind of want to see someone just rip off that design and put it into something else and do something with it. So yeah, I don't know. The Joker will always be an interesting character for sure, but he needs a revamp, brand new.
Yeah.
I don't care what these fans say,
All
but
right,
yeah.
we're blinded where we can find you.
You can find me on YouTube or Threads. I haven't been posting on Threads. I just been
Us.
busy.
All right, George.
You can find me at the George. I'm probably my next video will probably be a Funko Pop collection update video. October Halloween, so I might do some reviews on Scream 3, Evil Dead 2, and the original Ghostbusters. But yeah, you can find me at the George. Let me see if I can find a link to my channel and post it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
All right. I don't know what the guys are gonna do tomorrow. I may not do a stream tomorrow because, but Sunday we're gonna do an after show for the Penguin episode 3 on
Mm.
Sunday. Blind, you see it yet?
Not yet. I have not seen it yet.
Oh,
I'll catch up and I'll see it.
all right. Yeah, that's what I plan to do Sunday at 10 o'clock Eastern at Sunday for sure. Make sure make sure to like, share, subscribe, and yeah, bye.